It's a Wednesday night. We normally have our officers come in the evening. This particular officers meeting went real late. And a lot of times if I'm late at the firehouse, instead of going home and disturbing Deb or the kids, I'll just spend the night at the firehouse. And so I ended up staying that night. So I was an extra person. I wasn't designated to be on station that night. About 3 o'clock in the morning, we got dispatched to a house fire. And I happened to arrive with the fire engine. We were the first ones to arrive. Now, we always have a designated, what we call a shift commander, a supervisor who's responsible for commanding the fire. But given that I arrived first, I assumed command. I set up with dispatch what we were doing. I gave initial instructions. But the reports were that there were still people in this house. There was a car in the garage. The neighbors knew that there was a family that lived there that had small children. And so all indications are that there are people in the house. And instead of waiting for the other shift commander to arrive, I got dressed and prepared to go in with the crew so that we could search this house to see if there's anyone in there. The other individual arrived, so we always do this process of passing command so that it's very clear who's in charge. And because I was already dressed and ready for him to arrive, I went in with the hose line. So Jimmy and I go in, and we go to the basement. We can tell this is a basement fire. We've got fire coming out the back window of this basement level. And we're making our way through the house. So again, it's pitch black, it's dark, it's hot. We don't know the layout of the basement. It's a finished basement. There's no standard way to finish basements, and so we're feeling our way around the wall, trying to find the hallway. Jimmy starts to get water on the fire, and I notice through a little hole in the ceiling above me that the fire on the first floor is really rolling, and it's over our head and it's getting behind us, which is a scenario that you really don't want to encounter. I had to tell the 9 o'clock crew some of these stories I don't even tell Deb, so I have to be careful about some of the detail. We knew, and this was a hot fire. I even said to Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, man, it's hot in here. Much hotter than what we normally encounter. So throughout this process, we try to maintain voice contact at all times. I would keep saying, Jimmy, you okay, you okay? He was in front of me about 6 or 8 feet. And he would just answer back. Well, all of a sudden, Jimmy went silent on me. Jimmy wasn't there. And so I went to the end of the hose line. Jimmy's not on the hose line, which is usually where you'll find the firefighter. We brought that hose line in. It serves as kind of our lifeline. Jimmy wasn't there. So we have a procedure that we call a mayday, and I called out a mayday that I've lost my partner. Now, I'm accountable for Jimmy just as Jimmy was accountable for me. And I stayed near where I last saw Jimmy and continued to search that area trying to determine what happened to Jimmy. Now, long story short, Jimmy was okay. Jimmy had, we had agreed, we both recognized the need to get upstairs. This fire above us was really going to get dangerous on us. And Jimmy went around me and tapped me on the shoulder as he went by, but through my gear and my air pack, I just never felt him go by. And even though he walked within 6 inches of me, I couldn't see him. It was that dark. So Jimmy was upstairs. As soon as I called the mayday, I called out who we were missing. And it was a very short period of time before someone said, Jimmy's with me, he's on the main level, which then allowed me to follow my hose line out and up the stairs. Within about 30 seconds of us leaving the basement, the commander pulled everyone out of the building, and the entire first floor fell into the basement.